Hi, class, and welcome to week one. We're going to be going through a little introduction to water in California, water conservation, and also a little bit about how we use numbers to quantify water to talk about the amount of water. So, water technology is an applied science, and you will often hear that, math and science go together, that mathematics is the language of science. And for sure, it is going to play a role in our class this semester. But I would suggest that water conservation is a social science. So it's not always black and white, it's not always as easily quantified as maybe some of the concepts you've heard about if you've taken the treatment or distribution class. Um, we are still going to measure things. We're going to talk about the amount of water saved or the amount of water used. We're even going to correlate that to money, money saved or money spent. But I wouldn't say that this is quite as black and white as some of the other classes. So we're dealing with people. People make things a little bit gray, a little bit fuzzy, a little bit in between. People aren't always predictable, right? We're not robots. We don't always act based on logic. So when you're talking about people, you can enter some gray areas. Also got human interaction, right? Relationships, the way we relate to each other, that can affect the way that we use water. Interaction with the world around them, right? So, water is a natural resource and the way we interact with it in nature, but also the way that we choose to value it in our society and use it certainly impacts water conservation. And finally, our cultural norms, right? I did just say the way we value it in our society, that's part of it. But also, in certain parts of the world, it's a cultural norm to have a green lawn, right? That is the standard. So that certainly affects the way that we use water. I invite you to think about what's going on here, right? We've got an older gentleman. Looks like he's enjoying maybe an afternoon, standing around in his sandals with his little socks on, reading the paper. He's got a routine, right? Maybe he does this every day. Maybe this is how he likes to spend his afternoons. And we do have a social norm going on, right? He's watering a very green looking lawn. He's probably not the only one on his block with this lawn, right? They've all probably got it. And, he feels pressured to keep his green just like everybody else's. There's a device, right? In his hand, he's holding a shutoff nozzle. So that's a good thing, right? That's something that's automatically going to shut off the flow of water when he releases it. And when we talk about water usage, oftentimes it's used through a fixture or a device, right? Could be an appliance like a clothes washer, or something simple like this spray nozzle. And there's probably some economics at play, right? He's paying a certain amount of money for that water. He's also got a certain amount of money invested in the lawn. Maybe he feels like the lawn affects his property value. There's quite a few sort of hidden economic triggers going on there. Again, so education, water pricing, maybe there's some lawn alternatives, regulations, marketing we could do to let this person know that there are alternatives to just this green lawn. There is something else. Um, we can also introduce some water conserving technology, some device alternatives. Maybe that spray nozzle puts out, 5 gallon per minute, but we could get him one that only puts out 2 gallons per minute, something to that effect. And finally, we do try to address some economic forces. Um, it's a little bit harder, but trying to affect property value, the more that these lawns are not strictly the norm, the more that they aren't as tied to property value. All right, so I invite you to go ahead. I'm going to put this up on your class website. You'll see it as a PDF. And I'm going to let you look through some of the other uses of water we're going to talk about on our own. And then I'll come back and we'll talk about some math together. All right, thank you.